any connection between waterproofing and films?
Cinema has helped me in my business because I can tell better stories now.
Have you heard of this brand called Dabur? Everything was good. The loan was approved, interior person was identified, and last minute the lady of the house says, I don't like the color of the building. Kayam Churan. After 15 years, he sold the brand for 500 crores. I have visited this property, seventh floor, lovely view of the sea. On an empty plot. I said, hello, what do you do for a living? Like that. She just gave me one look and she walked away from the package. She was a film star. Waterproofing to
Yeah.
films.
Yeah.
What can we do for Bangalore International Short Film Festival? So you have to become the iPhone of your industry. How to do that? So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for coming and watching this podcast. We are starting off podcast with a gentleman, Mr. Anand Varadaraj, who runs one business and one business of passion. So we'll be discussing both, and we will try to see how we can help you out. So,
Thank you.
Anand, can you just give a quick introduction about what's the business you're into?
Sure. Hi, I'm Anand Varadraj. I am a second generation entrepreneur. Our family business is called Hydrox Corporation. We are a 50-year-old waterproofing company focused on water. We are specialized in waterproofing. And we have been from Vidhan Sauda to a local house in Jayanagar. We have covered everything in Bangalore. We've been doing this. My father started this company in 1968 when I think nobody had heard of waterproofing, maybe, or it was just starting to understand. So it's been running. Of course, my brother and I are now taken over as my father is no more, and we have kind of hopefully trying to again continue the business taking over. The second business, or I will not say business, is more of a passion. It's called the Bengaluru International Short Film Festival. It's a 15-year-old festival. We are the only Oscar-accredited festival in India. And it's a platform to promote young filmmakers. We started as just to give feedback to filmmakers, but today it's become a very big brand where filmmakers across the globe apply for a festival, and the film which wins the best film in the categories of international, Indian, and animation get to go to Oscars. So
So you just said that it just happened we were giving reviews. So can you throw some light on that? How exactly?
Sure. So basically, how we started was we were getting invited to come and watch short films in a place called Suchitra Film Society, very close by at Banshankari. And when we started watching, we realized that the filmmaker has talent. He has a good story, but unable to tell the story in a good way. He's missing out probably in the acting department or the technical department. So we thought, let's try to at least give this person a little bit feedback so that he understands where he's going wrong. And that's how it started. Our mentor Prakash Bilwadi, he was part of this. He was the one who said, let's do this. And the first year, we sat through, watched all the about 30 films on Saturday. And the next day, we called all the filmmakers back and we started giving feedback to each one of these films. So first we thought maybe the filmmakers may feel bad as to, we're talking not good things about the film because they have been only hearing good things by their family and friends. But when we started telling them, they understood that this was nothing to gain for us. It was actually for them. They knew that, okay, these were the mistakes which we need to avoid when they're doing the next project.
Nice.
So that has been going on. And even today, in a way, when filmmakers, especially Kannada filmmakers, come back and say, we missed it this year, but we'll make another film to come back, because they understand the kind of quality we are screening. Yeah. And that level, that has actually built a good brand for us. So people from across the country just come in to participate in the festival. We are actually also an online and hybrid festival. We both go do online as well as in theater. And I think we hit about 2 lakh hits per day on our during the festival.
Okay.
So which is, I think, pretty decent.
Nice, nice. So your one business was something that came to you by default of being
Yeah.
the second generation entrepreneur. The second business is something you did with the passion that you had,
Yeah.
which happened to be films. Is there any connection between waterproofing and films?
I think I really don't know. Means one is means I think visualization is something which kind of when somebody tells me, okay, we have a problem waterproofing, and I go to the site and start looking at the roof or any other thing, start to visualize, okay, where the water is getting in, and you imagine as to, okay, this, there might be a leak here, there might be a problem in the roof there. Okay, so that is something. And even in cinema, I think when somebody tells me a story, I start visualizing the story in my own way, and of course it comes on screen probably in the same way or in a different way. But I think that part of visualization actually is very common in a way, and it is helped. I also feel cinema has helped me in my business because I can tell better stories now. I can, while I'm talking to a client, I can explain him better, I can give him better examples, I can tell him in a better way what might go wrong or what might be the better way to go forward.
Absolutely. So, in fact, the human mind only understands stories.
Correct.
We have evolved over
True.
thousands of years, and all knowledge
Yeah.
that we have absorbed is through stories.
Absolutely.
Whether it is our Panchatantra or the Red Indians, telling
Very,
the
very
stories of
true.
the wind and the
Yeah.
wind and the hyena or whatever. So, one advantage of storytelling ability is that you can communicate better.
Correct.
So even if you have to explain to a child, you make a story. There was a donkey, there was a monkey.
Mm.
The donkey did this, monkey did this happened. Hence proof.
Yeah.
So we have that innate nature to explain anything in the form of a story.
Correct.
Now that is what a lot of people misuse in sales, because telling a story in English in Kannada is katha helodu.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So if you look at it, the film, what you're doing is you are actually evaluating somebody else's story.
True.
And by doing that, you may be evaluating on a technical aspect. Say, how was the lighting, or how was the angle, or what was the position of the camera. Had the camera been slightly higher, maybe the impact, the facial feature of the emotion would have been captured better.
True. True.
It can be extremely technical. At the same time, it can be extremely, just the feeling. Oh, I like this movie. You don't know why you like the movie, but you just like the movie, right? However, when you look at a business, a traditional business like waterproofing, you will not have a clear, demarcation.
Yeah.
So you can go and explain in the most technical way that I'm going to use XYZ chemical. It is next 5 years you won't have a problem or whatever. At the same time, you may also come across some customers who say that I didn't like it. I mean, there's no leakage, but I've seen this happening with paint.
Yeah.
I have lost a sale because everything was good. The loan was approved. The interior person was identified, and last minute the lady of the house says, "I don't like the color of the building." So it's an emotional decision.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I had a client who said exactly what you're saying. He said, "You do magic. I don't want water coming in. That's all. I don't care what you do. You put paint on the top, break my roof.
Correct.
At the end of the day, I don't want any black spot in my."
Imagine the pain he was.
Yeah, he was saying the same thing. See, I've built such a beautiful house. Everybody who comes in says, "Leno kab tak kanasta ide."
Oh.
And that he says it pains me so much. Nothing else matters for them. And so at the end of the day, he says, if you make this happen, I'll be the most promoting customer of yours. So yeah, you are absolutely right. It can be very emotional in a way.
So what we'll do now is we'll just split the two businesses. We'll first focus on the waterproofing business.
Sure.
So typically, how do you source your customers?
So majorly, see, we are, as I told you, we are a 50-year-old company. One is we have working for so long. We have a lot of word of mouth and old customers who have been with us for a long time. All that has happened. But also there are we have started using slowly social media and stuff like that also. But the change has been is market has changed in the last 5 to 6 years. The big players have come into the market. The regular paint guy has become a waterproofing guy. Your technicality does not matter because we are getting beaten on cost. Because at the end of the day, all the customer matters how cheap I'm getting it for. So now to source the same customer, going back and talking to him and convincing him has become more harder and harder.
Hmm.
And that change is what something I'm looking for as to how do we break this in the sense of it's not easy because as a premium brand, your market size has suddenly become shrunken, and people really don't care because he says when he's handing over somebody, for example, a contractor will say list wise I've done waterproofing, I'm handing it over. And for him the customer doesn't know if it's a premium quality or a local quality. I recently lost one major project where we had quoted about 40 rupees per square feet. Somebody has given for 17 rupees, and now that is forget cost, material wise also it won't work.
So,
So
why is there such a big? So, I'll just, whatever you just said, I'll just highlight 3 points.
mm,
One is that now anybody can become a waterproofing
Yes.
expert. That means some chemical is available, anybody can buy, anybody who wants to paint can do waterproofing.
correct.
Previously, the technology was you have to identify the source, you have to probably put a crack, fill a
Correct.
sealant, and then put some
Correct,
kind
correct.
of cover on that. Has technology evolved that you've not caught up to? Is that the issue, or
No, see, no, I see. Technology-wise, I think we are still up to date on the, and I keep reading materials on content on what is coming in the market, all of that. For example, let's say if this floor is the roof, if water is getting here, doesn't mean it's coming down directly.
Correct.
It travels about 20 feet and comes.
Yes.
See, the person who comes who without minimum knowledge of waterproofing will only do a strip and go away. He'll charge for them. According to him, water is getting here, I have sealed it. When he calls back, that guy says, "See, this is where you should have done it." Now the customer has already lost his money. He doesn't want to spend money. Now when he calls me, he says, "See, I've already spent 10,000. You do that for 5,000." Now the problem is, it's not that I can leave this. I have to cover this also. Now,
So there's waterproofing and there's waterproofing done properly.
yes, it's a technical thing at the end of the day. See,
So that's a one drawback actually. If you are very good at waterproofing,
mm,
you'll never get repeat business.
that is also true. I agree. I totally agree. But but one good thing about mass construction is the quality of construction has also gone down.
Yes.
See, earlier, I believe this is a very good thing. An old contractor told me. I was with my father that time. He said, "See, earlier we were building homes. Today we build houses."
Not just that, if you look at it, now when I studied, I did my civil engineering in the late 90s. So we used to design structure with a 60-year lifespan.
Correct.
And at that time, our structural engineering professor told that, why High Court is still standing, because the Britishers wanted to impose upon them that how great they are. The life span design was 150 years. It lasted 250, 300 years. That's
Correct,
a different
correct,
story.
correct.
But we were designing for 60 years. About last year, I was just talking some high rise, for a 14, 15 story building. I asked what is the lifespan. He said 40 years. I said, why 40? He said in 20 years, already it would have become an old building. Another 10, 15 years, the association people will fight. And in last 5 years, they will come, redevelopment will happen. Because in 30, 35 years, the value of real estate goes up so high that it doesn't make sense to have an old building. You just demolish and rebuild with probably new FSI.
Correct.
So something like that. And so when you're reducing the lifespan of the building, obviously your quality will reduce.
Absolutely.
So if you go and even today you go to Bangalore, the older parts of Bangalore, Central CBD, also go to the 40-year-old buildings. Superb. There's no leakage.
True.
The ceiling height is 11.5 feet.
Yes.
That's the old Bangalore. So that's
no. You are absolutely right when you ask that question about repeat customers. No, many of my customers, especially what we have done about 15, 20 years ago, the buildings have not leaked. They call us after 10 years and say, "See, it's not leaked. It's worked wonderfully, but just do one more coat."
okay.
See, it's nice to feel that, but you are right. Today the competition is so much. I know people are doing at 17, 20 rupees. That thing is not even standing for 6 months, and the house owner is getting beaten because the costs are so high, and this guy is doing at a cheap cost. They feel okay, this will work, and they say we are using these brands. I don't know if they're
Right. So there are 2, 3 concepts which come to my mind straight off. One is if you are so confident that your product is good, and you look at waterproofing as a service.
Yeah.
So you say that I'll not charge you 40 rupees a square feet. I'll charge you 40 paisa per month.
Okay.
For the next 100 months, we'll give 40 rupees. You are
Hmm.
taking for 120 months,
Hmm.
10 years.
Hmm.
In between, anything happens, I'm
Come
giving
on.
guarantee warranty. That's one way to look at it.
Hmm.
I do not know whether it will work because
Hmm.
if waterproofing is done properly,
Hmm.
it should work.
Correct.
So you can test this.
Hmm.
Second is how you collect the money.
Exactly.
That's again a problem. So then, like a Netflix subscription, if you stop, they stop the service. But
Absolutely.
if it doesn't pay, you cannot go and remove the waterproofing.
True.
So a subscription service will not work.
Not work here. Yeah.
What would work would be something more like educating the customer.
Hmm.
And the best way to educate the customer is by showing them,
Hmm.
comparing.
Hmm.
So you have to identify what are the cheap tricks that most of the competitors use,
Hmm.
and how you are different from them.
Hmm.
See, as a president of building association, I have gone through the same thing. Building is 19 years old, and in 19 years we've still not done waterproofing of the terrace
Hmm.
because only the top floor guy complains,
Correct.
and rest of the guy says why we should spend 1.5 lakh rupees for that.
Very true.
And it is just like that. He has done some waterproofing, to certain corners here and there. It does not solve the problem.
Very true. No, many places where we have given quotation, we get back call after 2.5, 3 years,
Yeah.
saying that just now we have got an approval, please come and do it.
Correct.
And we're like, this is 3 years old quotation. My cost, please, they have agreed now, just do it. So it will be like that. It's, but what to do, Mm.
So I wouldn't want to discuss in a public forum what your margins are, but I will assume that you have got a standard whatever margin that is there. There has to be a way that within that margins you have to give more value, which doesn't cost you much.
Right.
Now, for example, if you go and do waterproofing for a particular building, there should be some kind of marketing for that. That is one. That is like taking a testimonial.
Yeah.
Second is, in the last 50 years, you have probably served 100 people a year.
More than that, yeah.
That's 5,000
Yeah.
customers who will never be your customer again, but they will talk about you.
Correct, correct.
Is there a possibility of tracking back all those 5,000 customers or 50,000 customers? Because that is your real wealth. If you are able to get that entire, capture all those people, and you're able to get testimony, right? You don't need any marketing campaign. Because, for example, now the generation is slowly moving. From Times of India, it went to TV. From TV, it went to Facebook. From Facebook, it comes to Instagram.
Correct.
Your next generation, like the next 10, 15 years, they are going to be millennials who are going to be your customers. They are people who are in the age of 30, 35, 40, that age group. They are the people who are going to be using your services. So your entire marketing strategy has to be plugged into their ecosystem.
Understood.
So you will have to find out places where they hang out, and they, and waterproofing is not a cool thing.
Absolutely.
Like if you give a waterproofing T-shirt, they're not going to wear it and walk
Correct,
out.
correct.
If it is a perfume T-shirt or something,
Correct.
or any other brand, it's something cool.
True.
Here is a very generic and a basic business.
Correct.
Something like you're selling sugar or salt, but then there is Himalayan pink salt. People pay 1.5 times for that.
True.
Why? The perceived value.
Yeah.
So if you can come with a system where you can have anybody who owns a house. See, one trend you must see in real estate, what has happened in the last 5-7 years, just before COVID, most of the millennials and definitely the Gen Zs had no inclination of buying a house.
Correct.
They wanted to be mobile.
Yeah.
They said, I will use Uber, I will not buy a car, I will live in a rented house or co-living, I will go work in co-working, I will rent furniture. To the extent even furniture, they are in microwave, sofa, they are renting TV, they are renting 200, 500, whatever it may be. Because they felt that today I am in Bangalore, tomorrow I can be in Delhi, day after I might be in New York.
True.
Why should I
invest in?
Not invest, they have money to invest. Why should I be bound? Then COVID came. After COVID came, they all realized that, boss, I should at least have a house. In fact, just during COVID and post-COVID, I was selling very high-end projects, and we had a lot of 1 BHK inventory, which was expensive. Like 50 lakh rupees would pay for a 1 BHK. That was 5 years ago. COVID is 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So 5 years ago, 1 BHK 50 lakhs was very expensive.
Yeah.
But these young people, 25 to 32 age group, they only had 50 lakh budget, and they didn't care whether it was 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. They said, okay, let me just take it. So our entire sales picked up because of a new generation of buyers coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these all the new buyers are going for gated communities. They're going for the more established builders, developers, where there is a community where they can get all the amenities and they don't have any headache.
Understood.
So probably going directly to end customer will slowly,
Mm.
it will phase out,
Mm.
especially for these kind of service businesses.
Understood.
Previously, if our fridge got spoiled, we would call the fridge guy, get it repaired.
True.
Nowadays, fridge is 4 years old, slight problem, then you say,
Replace
oh, I
it.
think we should replace it. And instead of repairing it, you just do your research, you find something nice, and you just
Correct.
replace it off. So that mindset is there. So repairing the house will become the duty of the facility
Facility
management
management.
company. Is it possible
To
to
tie
tap
up.
the corporate side? Like you might have done waterproofing for a lot of industries, you would have done for a lot of large companies.
Yeah.
So if you want to tap the residential area, you would have to look at that. Now, if you look at say a solar company, put solar rooftops. If that is your parallel business, waterproofing can be part of it. Or if waterproofing, you have access to 50 any area, you'll have 50 buildings.
Correct.
Where you have access to the rooftop because you did the waterproofing. So is there a possibility of diversifying into solar rooftop?
Okay.
That's another angle you can look at it. So you can grow a business, by expanding that business, or the same customers sell the multiple products.
Understood.
So you are now interacting with homeowners or homeowner associations or corporates.
Got it. Got it.
So what is the other product that you could sell either under Hydrox brand or as a subsidiary or just by access?
Or make a small consortium where you can. Yeah.
So today, if you are selling only, there are a few restaurants which only have one product.
Yeah.
Like back in Bombay, there was Maushi's Vada Pav.
Correct. Correct.
Only Vada Pav. 25 years Vada Pav. Nothing else. Right? You go to a normal restaurant, you will have Chinese also, veg also, non-veg also, Italian, everything. So if you are looking for something very specific, you go to that specialist, Maushi's Vada Pav, or
right.
If I ever have a restaurant, which hopefully I never have to have, it will have only 3 or 4 items, but each item will be an award-winning item.
Got it.
Like the best burger in town, the best pizza in town, the best milkshake in town, and the best water.
Right, right.
That would be the concept. No choice-wise and all, because it dilutes everything. But 99% of people don't want that much of specialty. What they are looking at is, I want convenience. So how can you sell convenience to them?
Interesting.
You have access to, say, 100 people.
Yeah.
And you met them for waterproofing.
Right.
That means anything related to house can be done.
Got it.
Right? It could be painting services, but that's downgrading. You have to upsell. In my opinion, looking at renewable energy would be a good option. And targeting end users, retail customers. Because in India, that is slowly picking up. I am consulting with a few companies trying to set up a rooftop solar. There are some people wanting to do solar farms. Some people say solar is useless, you must use wind because it's more efficient over a long period of time.
Got it.
Some people are looking at biomass burning and you're using methane gas to generate electricity. Some people are looking at geothermal. Hundreds of things are coming up, and like how AI is trending, 10 years back renewable was trending. But renewable has got so much of requirement. India itself is looking at moving in that direction. So you could probably look at doing something like create a brand, even in the Hydrox name. So you can have a Hydrox brand rooftop solar water heater.
Got it.
Simple water heater. I do rooftop solar and I give you water heater. I don't know how much a solar water heater was, 15, 20, 30,000 bucks. So per rooftop into 5,000, that's the potential that you have access to. And wherever you go ahead, you can even look at that.
Yeah.
So that is it. So the solution that I will be giving you away would be to use your same existing customers and cross-sell multiple products to them. For all you can sell, building insurance to them.
Yeah, correct. True.
Because they require it.
Correct.
Right? So that is the thing.
What do you think about today? See, one of the biggest things which internet and social media has done is you can reach to anybody from anywhere you want today. And of course, with Amazon and places like that, which your product can reach also in the same places. If I brand my product, because I recently saw Chinese products which are very similar to what I produce also. Anyway, mine is a formulated. I manufacture it also, but I don't. My setup I removed during COVID, and we have outsourced it. Basically, I get whatever I want and package it. So, is that a good idea also to wholesale it?
That changes everything. See, if you have your own product,
Hmm.
it changes everything. You just have to make
Brand.
sure that that brand.
Hmm.
So if you have, like, say, suppose you're selling a bottle like this.
Hmm.
Say this is a chemical, mix it with 1 liter water, and you put it, your waterproofing is over.
Correct.
So any person who can do painting can use a product.
Yes.
Correct.
Hmm.
And the reason this is better than what you get in the market is for 1, 2, 3 reasons.
Right.
You'll have to identify those reasons.
Okay.
And then you will, now this changes everything actually.
Hmm.
See, I did not know you're the manufacturer.
Yeah.
If you're manufacturing your own, you have a proprietary formula,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So when something is proprietary, automatically it has got little bit of little mysteriousness is there.
Right.
So if I say XYZ brand is there, it is made in some factory versus this is a 50-year-old business, which is probably this was invented 30, 40, 50 years back. Or maybe your father invented the chemical and then entered into waterproofing.
Yeah. No. My father was a chemist basically. The idea came is because he was sitting at home, and my grandfather was a Ayurvedic doctor, and he was helping my grandfather, and various people used to come to him. So many contractors used to start coming, and because of course those times leakage was not so bad because they used to do surki. Somebody complained there is a leakage, and he started thinking, okay, what can I do? And he started because he was a research buff, so he used to read a lot of things. When he started realizing, okay, we can start, he started with bitumen waterproofing basically because that was what is available. Last 20, 30 years is when all these polyurethane, acrylic started coming into the market. And then he started experimenting on that and built a formula.
Have you heard of this brand called Dabur?
Of course, yeah.
What's the origin of that? Dr. Burman.
Oh, okay.
Dabur.
Oh, I see.
He was one doctor used to make his medicines, put in dabba and keep, and people used to buy.
So,
it. That became that Chawanprash, everything that became the FMCG product. So Dabur is a multi-billion-dollar company. Started with one person, just like your dad, who was doing research, creating it was health related. So Chawanprash and all that. So definitely there is a very, very strong story. If you can just look at the story, let's see this in 1968 or whatever. This was the problem. This was the solution. Started here, and if you can make a story, you make a short film.
Yeah, got it.
You make a short film on this.
Understood.
And that short film, anybody sees, you become the pioneer. You become the original. If I have a product just like iPhone, at almost the same price or half the price of iPhone, you still prefer the iPhone.
I agree.
So you have to become the iPhone of your industry. How to do that? I'll tell you in two ways. One is, authentically, people should believe that you are got something unique. Your product, it may or may not be patented, but definitely it's proprietary.
Yes, yes.
It is proprietary means nobody else can actually replicate it.
Correct.
I can take the formula of KFC and try to make chicken at home. It won't taste like KFC, right? So probably you will have to do some kind of marketing campaign. But before going for marketing campaign, what is the company's expansion plans? How big do you want to become?
Really not thought of it because today, as I told you, because we don't sell this in the market, we only use it on our projects.
Correct.
It's constrained, and with the new thing of all these bigger brands coming and overtaking you because they are pushing so much money and giving at such a low cost, there is chance of how do we survive in this fights?
So you're almost at a point is, should we be doing this business?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's very valid thought that could come.
Yeah.
So I would say the reason the bigger brands can give cheaper is because of economies of scale.
Correct.
So you would probably be well off if you have a product to start training people how to use it and making every contractor, every painter, everybody your distributor.
Understood.
Suppose your product costs 100 rupees. 30 rupees is your margin in that. You will have to keep 5 rupee margin and 25 rupees as a dealer distributor, the full distribution network margin.
Okay.
So you will have to see based on your industry. Typically, it could be anywhere between 5%, 3% for a stockist to just say,
correct.
Bombay, he will buy 5,000 units and then he will distribute it.
Correct.
Distributors will have, retail will have different margin. And the end, like if you have an architect who does large contracts, he can be a distributor.
Understood.
Also, you will, if you have proprietary, formula, you can always tap government tenders. Now, what happens is, if I have got a government building, I want to do waterproofing. So they will call for tenders. During the tender, your salesperson goes, meets them, say, this is a proprietary thing. If you put it, it will cost you so much, and 10 years there will be no problem. I can give you a guarantee.
Okay.
So he will raise a tender. We want a product which will give 10 years guarantee. it must have
This
these chemicals. Or in today's days, it should be methane free, this free, that free, whatever. I do not know.
Correct. Yeah.
So some USP should be in the tender process itself. So all these big brands, if they are not matching that specification, they will be out in the technical bid. And then when the actual qualification monetary bid comes, 3 of your own distributors are sitting there.
Understood.
Whoever wants to take the order takes the order.
Okay.
So that's another big market you could take.
Happen.
And that if you get say one contract in Karnataka saying all the panchayat offices to be waterproof, that's $1 billion project. It will never happen. But that's the scale of business.
Understood. Right. Yeah.
So if you have a corporate sales division or a government sales division, you maybe have a 4 to 5 member team traveling. You have to travel, meet all the government officials, see where the requirement is there. And your product, if it can be the same waterproofing product, if it can be used on external walls, mixing with paint. If you can tweak your product to be mixed with paint to make the paint slightly waterproofing.
Right.
Partially. Like, you're not giving a guarantee warranty, but basically it's like adding sugar to tea.
Got it.
Just makes it a little better. Tea without sugar is
Understood.
technically cheaper than
Correct.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Understood.
So there are different markets you could do. And majority of my business is Bangalore, Mysore, this region only.
Yeah.
So you're a regional player.
Correct.
The moment you start making your product and you start going, having a dealer distribution network pan India is possible, but it will take years
to get. Yeah.
You would be better off tying up with one of the big brands.
Okay.
So one other way to do it is, or what I would suggest is, in the next 2.5 years, 18 months to 2.5 years, you focus only on manufacturing.
Okay.
And selling. Start with tier 2s, tier 2 cities. Do not go to Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore. Don't bother about it.
Got it.
Only tier 2. When I say tier 2, you look at Indore, Nagpur,
Bangalore.
Also they're expanding. Bangalore waterproofing is definitely required. So you look at coastal areas. You will become the tier 2 player.
Understood.
Then a big brand like Dr. Fixit or HLL or whoever is in this your competitor, they buy out your brand if you want to exit.
Understood. Yeah.
So Hydrox as a brand, it has lived 50 years. And there are many case studies where people have started 1 or 2 products. There's one guy who made that Kayam Churan or something. 15 years he did that. After 15 years, he sold the brand for 500 crores.
Oh.
Then with the 500 crores, he created 4 more brands. Each of them are worth 300, 400 crores now. Because he had the distribution network.
Yeah.
So the real strength of any product is the distribution network.
Understood.
You have a great product. I want the product, but I don't know where to buy it from.
Understood.
Other way you can also do it is try selling it on Amazon. But Amazon will cut into your margins, and e-commerce is a different game altogether. It may not work for this kind of product.
Got it.
Right? And you can even look at exports. So these are the 3 different markets you can tap. Because competing with the guy who's offering at 17 rupees when your cost itself is 30, 35, 40 rupees, how will you compete?
Correct.
Now, if the product is your own and still yours is coming costly, means your product is good.
Yeah.
If you start selling that product, say, I don't know any of the waterproofing. Who are the top waterproofing brands?
Dr. Fixit, Fosrock.
Fosrock I know. So Dr. Fixit, Fosrock, if their material, 100 ml of their material costs 100 rupees, yours should cost 200 rupees, 250 rupees, 230 rupees. It becomes a premium product. Not because the cost of manufacturing is high, because the perceived value is high.
Right.
So how these people will sell is that, sir, I can put Dr. Fixit or I can put Hydrox, but this is 1.5 times costlier. You want to put, but 10 years nothing will happen.
Himalayan pink salt.
He starts becoming your brand ambassador.
Yeah.
And funnily, the lowest level people are the most trustworthy. So even without knowledge, like I once remember, I'd gone for a haircut. And while getting my haircut, this was about 10 years ago, the barber was cutting my hair, and he said, "Sir, I said, real estate." I said, "Oh, Devanalli is doing very well. You must buy in Devanalli." I'm like, "Okay, the barber is going to advise me on real estate. Okay, thank you, sir." So I didn't comment on his hairstyle or his cutting technique, but that level, they with genuinity, they really believe in that advice they give, which is like people tend to trust them. And he's from the industry. I am a housewife. I don't know whether this pink salt or white salt is good for me. He says, "Madam, take the pink salt. It's better." Okay. It's matter of, total project is going up by 5,000 rupees more or 2,000 rupees more or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's getting a margin there. He's a distributor.
Correct.
So even though he's selling at 25 rupees is over.
Yeah.
So that's what it works. And then there are a lot of micro strategies you could do. Like, for example, you could get 50 people who are into painting business
Mm.
and train them how to use your chemical.
Mm.
Make it part of your CSR. Like you want to upskill people.
Mm.
You can go find out people. There is so much unemployed youth. You find
Yeah.
50 fellows. Say that we'll train you
Mm.
how to become waterproofing expert and certified. How? Hydrox certified waterproofing expert.
Mm.
Give them one certificate. Send them.
Mm.
They may go and sell 5 bottles of yours and apply it income also.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there are multiple ways you can expand.
Mm.
The business is saturated, no doubt
Correct.
about it.
Absolutely.
The need is there,
Mm.
and that's where the market is. So since you are the manufacturer, you
Mm.
can actually take your manufacturer and create a brand around it.
Mm.
And by doing so, what you're essentially doing is you're no longer going to climb up and actually put the pin. That is hard work. Why do you want to
Exactly.
do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have the IP.
Yes.
50 years that you'll have done is to create the IP.
IP. Yeah.
Now utilize the IP. Somebody is going to apply it. You don't have to apply it. Like
Correct.
I don't have to drive my car, even though I love driving and I'm a very good driver.
Mm.
When there's traffic, I can sit on my phone and work,
True.
or I can take calls, or I can open my laptop and make a presentation.
You buy a costlier car so you can keep a driver.
So from waterproofing to
Yeah.
films,
Yeah.
what can we do for Bangalore International Short
Short
Film
film
Festival?
See, as I told you, see, we have cracked the content.
Hmm.
We have built a brand.
Hmm.
Anybody in Bangalore or Kannada film industry, starting off as a filmmaker,
Hmm.
Bangalore International Short Film Festival is the one they look for. They say, if I get in there, I'm my
So, how many of the general public know about this? Is it only people who are related to the film or
majorly,
film buffs?
yeah,
Like,
film buff, people who are from the media
so
colleges,
it's something like your Royal Enfield,
correct,
bike. What is it called? Rider Mania.
Rider Mania.
Something
Yes,
like that.
yes.
So people who are not into biking won't even know it's happening.
Won't even, yeah.
But those who know it,
They will really know.
take
They know
one week
this.
holiday, everything.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
will do.
They plan it out.
So
They book
it
their
has a
tickets.
cult following.
It has a cult following.
According to you, how many people actually are involved in this? Like 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 15 lakh, or it's in crores?
Involved in the sense.
In viewing these movies or being part of
No, I wouldn't.
attending the
No,
festival?
see as I told you, we have a hit of about on the when we open online, we hit about 2.5 lakh hits on our website.
Okay.
That is one. On festival, when it happens, we do it about 5-6 venues. The venue, each one has about 200 to 250 seats, each one, and we have registrations about 6,000, means about 10,000 people registering for the whole festival.
Okay.
And on the ground, it's about 4 days. On online, it runs for 10 days.
Okay. So in online, if I come online, I can see all the
Yeah.
2,000 entries. I can
No,
see
not all. We
or
curate
just
it
selected?
from the right now. See, last year we got about 3,200 entries. From that, we screened about 300 films. So, see, the value is about how do you select the 300 films, and that is why, because people are waiting. Okay, I am one of the 3,000. Will I be in that 10%?
So most of the people seeing are the actual filmmakers and people who are
Both,
related to them.
both, yeah.
So general public, like when Bahubali comes or KGF comes, that kind of public not even
It can be, cannot be also. It's
Can
not
you
that.
can you give an example of one short film which everybody has seen?
That's a challenge. Like
It is not a masses product at all.
it's not. See, but people who have started, for example, if you've heard of Karthik Subraj is a very well-known filmmaker in Tamil Nadu. His last film was with Rajnikant,
Okay.
but he started at our festival. Okay, so
Okay.
this is the journey
Stepping
of
stone.
stepping stone. Like I means even thankfully I have maintained relationships. You give a call, they pick up and say, how can I help you? So these are things which we have built over time, and many filmmakers we have invited come, and they see, most of the time people think it's a money making racket, but when they come to the festival, like Sriram Raghavan, who made Andhadhun, from all these, the guy who made Pico, Shujit Sarkar, Nazuruddin Shah, a lot of filmmakers, Vinay Pathak, everybody has come to the festival. They realize that this is the ground where actual.
If I have to compare this with Kalagoda Festival, which happens in Bombay, it is
similar, very, very similar. See, the thing is, see, probably it's also maybe we can grow this festival in a lot of different ways. We can start taking this brand to every city, because short films are not something which people look at, but it is actually a big potential market.
Correct, correct.
Take it to all the top cities or tier 2 cities.
Now it's only in Bangalore.
There are other cities which are happening in smaller ways. There's
You
no,
are doing it or somebody else is doing
no, no. I'm the
it? You are
founder.
only doing it. You are only doing it.
I'm the
So you
founder
have
director of the
all the rights to
all the
do
right.
this.
Yes.
You
I have
can
a
have one theater running 24/7
yes,
showing this film.
Yes.
There's absolute liberty to do that.
yes.
Okay. What do you want? You want to make sure it's self-sustaining so that you don't have to put your own money.
That is something I also want to build. See, with last 15 years,
Hmm.
I have now access to content in a big way.
Hmm.
Okay, like if you think about 3,000 films which came this
Hmm.
year,
Hmm.
if you go back, I have about 15,000 films at my hand
Correct.
in the last 15 years,
Yeah.
take an average. And this is something which I want to see how can I convert it to something.
Got it. Got it. So one of the simplest thing you could do, if provided the producer or the director of that each film gives you the permission to do,
Mm.
you have a YouTube channel where you share revenue with them.
Mm.
So if I were to go search for a short film,
Mm.
I go to YouTube and whatever comes I see.
Correct.
But if I know that your channel has
As-
the best 15,000
Yeah.
short films, it can be put there
Mm.
and you can monetize it.
Correct.
Even if you choose not to monetize it,
Mm.
it can be everything is visible.
Mm.
But the ones which are curated every year,
Mm.
that is monthly subscription.
Right. Right.
Now the question is, because of the type of film this is, it will never have 1 million subscriptions watching that.
Mm.
Number of people wanting to watch this is much lesser
Mm.
compared to a blockbuster.
Mm.
So if you look at your best, most famous, the one which almost won an Oscar,
Mm.
that kind of film also, I don't think more than 5-10,000 people have seen the film.
Mm. Because see, at the end of the day, because see, we have not put it anywhere. We don't know what is it might be because see, at the end, see what is happening is today we are only in Bangalore, or online we are only in India. We geo block it. But when we go online with YouTube or something, you are suddenly global.
Correct.
You are available in all every country, everywhere. Today, the second advantage is with AI, you can suddenly translate it to any language of theirs.
Yes.
Okay, going forward, probably start lip syncing also.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, and this content is not only with you, but you can also sell it in so many other platforms. You start doing that, then probably YouTube will be your last place to come and
Understood.
put it.
Understood. See, because why I said YouTube is that is the most logical thing to
Yeah.
do, because there's already a known mechanism. You have
Correct.
got 10-minute video, you put on YouTube,
True,
something
true.
will come.
Yeah.
$1, $5, $50,
True.
millions of dollars. We do not know.
Mm.
If you want to avoid YouTube, which I highly recommend you should,
Mm.
then you could probably have a Netflix kind of
Mm.
platform.
Mm.
But again, making a platform,
No, very, very costly. Yeah.
is it really worth it? So I would say, right now, what is your source of doing? You put your own funds or sponsors or
Some sponsors, some all this delegate registration or ticketing,
ticketing?
all this.
So
But yeah, but you still end up paying.
Technically, you're a loss-making event management company.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe you. You're not a film festival.
Yeah.
You're an event management company.
We're a passionate money losing platform.
So, passionate money losing platform.
No.
PMLP.
No, actually, see, I think thanks to Binal, otherwise I wouldn't have even said that it's a self-funded festival till last year. Because of that, she was insisting so much because most of them don't know that this is self-funded. Everybody thinks it's some more money is coming. So we started telling so much that suddenly some people said, we will like to sponsor this, we'll give you this. So, but this year I think we are early. We can January. It happens in August. So I want to see if we can really put in efforts. I really don't know if I can get a person who can.
Two things you can do.
Mm.
One is right now, is it a company setup or it is just
Just the
brand name or something?
brand name, and I hold the IP for the brand name. I have just trademarked it.
So technically, it's a proprietary firm.
It's a proprietary
firm.
Yeah.
So one way to do it is you convert this proprietary firm into a Section 25 company, which makes it an NGO.
Okay.
Technically, what you are doing comes under the purview of social work, comes under purview of becoming an NGO. It is a non-profit. When I say NGO, Section 25 company is a non-profit company. So when you do that, anybody putting money into this company for a sponsorship, it becomes a complete part of their CSR.
Okay.
So if you want to raise, say if you want to do it in a very grand way,
Mm.
it will probably cost you 15 lakh, 20 lakh, 30 lakh rupees.
Mm.
Proper.
Mm.
Change the venue to proper 5-star hotel, it will be double.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
Then that too you need it for 3 days, 4 days. So it's quite expensive.
No, see, actually, at 12 lakhs, whatever 15 lakhs we are spending right now, as at a cost where we are taking the cheapest of auditoriums, not inviting all these filmmakers, getting one or two guests in all this way. But once you start saying that you'll invite all the guests, all the filmmakers, of course,
It has to be
it
done
has
as
to be
well.
20,
So
almost
probably
5x.
annual budget should be 70-80 lakh rupees.
Yeah, about a crore. Yeah, yeah,
Crore,
right, yeah.
around a crore would be the correct figure.
Correct.
The reason I said 70-80 from 12 lakhs directly 1 crore.
Yeah, you're right.
If anybody hears that last year you did for 12 lakhs, now you're doing for 1 crore, it's going to be crazy.
See, when we send the pitch, we always ask for 50-60 lakhs. Of course, this 12 lakhs I'm saying because I'm talking to you. But when you're talking, we have to say bigger numbers because I won't be able to justify it otherwise.
So one way to do it is to convert into a non-profit because anyways you're doing it for passion. You're not trying to earn revenue. You're not drawing a salary. In fact, you're paying from your own pocket. So in order for you to maintain this for the next 15 years, there has to be some kind of charitable organization that runs this.
Understood.
So, but what's the benefit for that? So it should be an organization that is generating funds, probably for all the retired technicians, retired actors, because they don't have PF, they don't have any security. And if the extras, once they turn 35, 40, they don't get work also. Like, it can take a very big philanthropical angle. So your Bangalore Short Film Festival is 15 years old, but the next 15 years, the mission is not just to see films and review them. That is how you generate money. How do you generate money? Saying we are doing the Short Film Festival, 100 people are going to come or 500 people are going to come. This is the profile of people coming. Would you like to do some targets, sponsors for them? That's what you are doing currently. Right?
Correct.
What I am saying is that you put a philanthropic angle to that. So if you look at the film industry, it is probably 70-80 years old. Maybe 1940s it started. So it's a very young industry. It's a very young. There are some
the global industry is only 150.
150 years. So when you look at that, the people who were the top guys, most of the film stars, even the richest of them, they died broke.
Yeah, true.
The financial planning was not good. There was no security at all.
Correct.
So if you could create some kind of a trust, which is directly linked with the Short Film Festival, saying that all the people who are in need of money, this trust will help. So when I say Section 25 company, from an operation point of view, it's better. Technically, it's a trust which you're going to have. So the trust becomes BISFF trust. And people will donate to the trust. And the trust will have two agenda. One is to have a good festival, so that that circle is maintained. And second is to help the people. And that way you will be doing two things together. From your own money you can donate to the trust to help. You can take from the trust. You can give to the trust, which anyways you are giving without any tax benefit or anything.
Correct.
So now if you give 10 lakh rupees, suppose you don't get sponsorship, you give 10 lakh rupees, you do the event, you don't have any money to help anybody, that's still okay. But the 10 lakhs from your own money is a tax exempt from your other income. So that's one benefit directly you'll get by simple taxation benefit that you get. But the core of the thing is, if this trust is able to help people in Kannada film industry, then the same thing can go to Tamil industry, can go to. I think Bombay they have something.
No, most of this, all these, there is this technicians union, cinematographers.
Correct. Do they give financial aid to
the thing is, they say they give. Yeah, I mean, they always give you when they die. That's the problem. For example, when they say, okay, when a senior cinematographer dies, they say, okay, we are giving 2 lakhs to the widow or something like that.
So he has to suffer all his life.
Yeah, sadly.
So in fact, this concept is not new. About 10-15 years ago, I was having this discussion with a friend of mine, and we were discussing that this auto rickshaw fellows, why they don't have PF. Because we are employees, we get PF.
Correct.
And I told you have PF. Who will educate them? I said I don't have time to educate them.
Yeah.
So even if the trust
just
educates all the people to have a PPF account, you get 7%, 8% tax-free returns, 15 years lock-in, after that 5 years.
Mm.
So if you are an independent businessman and not having private limited, you're not more than 20 employees, you
Mm.
will not have PF. And
True.
PF by far is the only avenue that you can save tax free as of today.
Correct.
Most of the other thing, there is some,
Some, yeah.
it is, and it's prepaid income
Yeah.
for PF. PPF, of course, after you pay it and you kind of you save tax on that
Yeah.
up to 1.5, which may be there, may not be there in few years. The way the
True.
madam is charging taxes, I think that's
Yeah.
go. But nevertheless, it is a good long-term savings,
Mm.
and what you invest is exempt from tax.
Actually, very interesting. It's actually we can this trust even for people who start off can be a skill development place.
100%. The second thing I want to say is start doing courses.
Yeah.
So if you are an expert or
Mm.
Mr. Melawadi is an expert, you all can do it. Or there will be people who are actually very good in teaching the subject. Even good in the subject. So being good in the subject and teaching the subject are two different things.
Correct.
So what is this fellow? Sachin Tendulkar may not be the best cricket coach.
Correct.
But his coach was the best cricket coach. He may not be the best cricketer.
Correct. Very true.
Same logic.
Very true.
So if you can make even half-day seminars, saying that next year, say this January, leave it, the entire year, August, September, October, you are going to do seminars, courses on how to crack in the top 300 of the film festival. That itself will be subscribed. And most of the small film producers, makers, they have very low budgets. So you can't really charge them of 5 lakh rupees. That won't work. Because you're anyways giving that information for free. Now you will start charging, it will actually, you will kind of lose value.
Correct.
But you can have seminars and charge very reasonable amounts. If you have a seminar in a 5-star hotel for about 25,000 rupees, you can feed a good amount of people. 20-25 people, 1,000 bucks.
Correct.
You can have it over there, but you should probably charge 3,000, 4,000 rupees to cover your recording cost. And that can get recorded, professionally. Online it can be made available. It can be given to film schools. You can even type with film schools to do the training.
Yeah.
So these are the observations we have. Can you incorporate in your training? All that the trust should do. Not individual capacity, no. You're just giving free advice.
Absolutely.
But when the trust does it, then automatically you will get somebody who will be a patron for the trust. Somebody who wants to take care of the film line.
Yeah.
People in the film line. So that is one route you could take. Now you are not looking at earning money from this, which actually complicates things, because when you have an earning mindset, if you say I want to make 1 lakh rupees, means that business should make 2 lakh rupees.
Correct.
Now when you don't have the intent to make money, you're not budgeting.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just happening.
Correct.
So what you should do for the next event, you should do as though you're doing a project, as though you're an event management company, and in one Excel sheet you should be billing how much that festival owes you.
Understood.
Do that calculation. Exactly 3 times that. You should go and ask for sponsorship.
Okay.
Whatever tickets and all come, you can even refund those sponsorship if you want.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Absolutely no problem. Basically, you're de-risking the event. Event should go proper. Whomever I want to invite should be able to be invited. I should be able to charge 500 rupees, 200 rupees for the ticket, or 1,000 rupees a ticket for front row, whatever. I should be able to do it the way I want because I have the money.
Correct.
And once you are profitable, the profit can be given back to the sponsor. He wants to help you.
Yes.
That's why he's sponsoring.
Yes.
Because with the target audience you have, you don't have volume.
Correct.
You have it's a very niche.
Correct. It's
but
a very
that niche is also will have something.
It's like Comic Con in a way.
Almost like Comic Con.
Yeah.
But see, Comic Con you have products to sell.
Yes.
Here you don't have a product. It's just the appreciation.
Correct.
Appreciation. What do you do with the appreciation?
Very true. No, that's what I've been thinking as to how to productize this so that it can
productize us through training, through courses, and through charitable institutions.
Yeah.
These are the 3 ways you could really do it. Otherwise, if you really want to productize it, you can have a competition. A pan-India competition, and the top 5 winners, their city you will have the event. So you have the event 5 times.
Understood.
Right? And then it becomes responsibility of that person to locally secure sponsorship, get everything. It becomes like a pseudo franchisee kind of a thing.
Very true.
Suppose if I want to do your festival in Bhopal, I will have to arrange the venue. I will have to arrange so many things.
Yeah.
That's another way you can do it. That will be a more organic way to do it, and it's more understandable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
The trust would be good because it would, kind of serve a much larger purpose. The film fraternity is probably the most neglected. When you're in the limelight, you're a hero.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
After out of it,
No, even in a hero, how many people do you know except the hero, heroine, and director?
Exactly.
Nobody knows, even the producer. Forget. So it is a big challenge in that.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
I have a small anecdote.
Mm,
So I had a friend. Every time I met him, he would be with a different lady
Mm.
and introduce me as this is my fiance.
mm,
Every time I've met him.
mm,
So one day I met this lady. This was in UB City.
mm,
So out of courtesy, I said, "Hello, what do you do for a living?" Like that. She just gave me one look and she walked away from the party. She was a film star. I didn't know. I don't watch Kannada movies, so it was you go to a film star and you don't recognize that person. What can
I
be
have a
more
similar. I have a
humiliating?
similar story. This friend of mine had gone to do one course at Art of Living,
Okay.
and he comes to lunch, takes this plate, comes and sits down, and he's eating, and he looks at this girl next, and he's seeing, and he suddenly at one point,
तो देखा है text.
ah, have we met before? She says, no, but I'm Nagma.
Oh.
And he's like, I'm sorry. So, yeah, it happens.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, good. So, on a closing note, I hope
Yeah.
you like what we had
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
discussion.
Very lot of things to think about and see how we can do. And yeah, another, yeah, been working on a couple of things. I also wanted your thoughts. See, it's still at a very, very sorry, very
Initial stage.
early stage. See, with this AI coming in, a lot of things are getting fast processed and stuff like that.
Correct.
I've been working with somebody who is trying to make this green building certification in a fast way, because a lot of documents come in,
Yes,
right?
yes,
But AI is able to crack it in a faster way.
yes.
Okay, you think there's a market for that? Because
Market isn't much. Reason being is number of people applying for green building is only a certain set of people. So if there are 1 million buildings being made, only the top 100, 200 apply. Second, the AI is so advanced. I can do a legal verification using AI. I submit the documents and it is intelligent enough to check this authority who has signed. Say the district commissioner, Mr. So and so, has approved this particular document.
Correct.
In 1998. So while giving the report, it will also capture the name, designation,
Correct.
and say approved by so and so. So it will not normally what lawyer will say approval number 135/1998. They will say approval 1998. I mean 134/1998 approved by Dilip Kumar IAS
Yes.
district commissioner, whatever the district. It goes to that extent. So it's very advanced. You are not going to save time because most of the green building that happens, it happens with personal. I know the architect said, please, this is what I want to do. He said, okay, make these changes, will get approved. And there's no new technology that is coming so much. Not much has changed. Only specifications minor have been changed here and there. So if you want to use AI, it has to be something in a mass product where people don't have access to the consultant. Today, if I am making a 100 crore building, I have access to the best consultant. But if I need an expert, like making a website. I want to make a website. I want a website like Apple. I don't have access to the fellow who's made the Apple website. But their AI will work. Can you make my personal website which looks like Apple?
Understood.
Website? Then it will work.
No, but in the construction industry, is there something which can be made faster using the new technologies? See, I'm asking you because I work for a company which does this.
Okay.
And it's very easy for me to get something done.
So a problem that AI can solve in construction? Telecalling. Not in construction. In sales and marketing it can. Automated telecalling. So if I have a database of 50,000 people, I need a 50-seater call center for 3 months to call them. Instead, if I have a AI, like a chatbot kind of a thing, it will do 400 calls a day. Day and night it will call wherever, it can finish the whole thing. You can train the AI chatbot to speak
nothing in supply chain, nothing in
supply chain. Yes, you can do your inventory analysis. You can do your actually most of them are pretty simple. Even construction is not very complicated.
Yeah.
There are set processes, set norms are there where you can save money using AI. I can't think of anything offhand. Maybe in the deep construction you can. Not really.
No, why I thought was for green building is, see, with ESG coming into play, Right now, they are saying only for the top 10% or whatever.
Correct.
But going forward, I think they'll start asking for many of these commercial buildings to start giving certifications on this one. And my thought was, see, when you're in a building where, because basically energy saving and stuff like that, how much of energy is being burnt in the whole building, how much of process is coming. So I was in the thought that there might be a market for this to going forward, because and whoever is early in the market might get.
So if you're going to use AI
Hmm.
to help, what problem are you solving? Green certification, green building certification.
Green building certification. See, today most
Okay,
of
if I have to do it manually, what's the process now?
see
I have a small apartment.
see, for example, you have a
10
small
apartments.
10 apartment.
Yeah.
Each one ka you have to take Bescom, this one.
Hmm.
This one you have to take. You have to start feeding it. You have to type it in, because most of it is in printout. They don't have a digital thing.
Correct.
Or if you get a digital also, to convert it, today Excel has to be fed in.
So it will calculate how much power input.
It will cover convert, take which date it was. It will probably start looking at, okay, so much energy has been lost, so much water has been so basically it will start from one date, let's say 1st April to next 31st March. In 1 year, it will give you all the analysis of comparative study of last 2 years, how much of saving has been done. And they probably look at what kind of paint it was used, how much of carbon emissions was reduced from previous year to this year. So, or maintenance of your gardens, how much of what kind of fertilizers was used. All this starts getting digitized, and each year you start mapping it and say that is basically like how you get a brand seal, no, my 5 star of.
If you could, rather than doing this, if you could have a device which
Hmm.
you get plugged into my electrode, there are
Correct. Smart meters.
It will check what is happening.
Correct.
That data, if you could capture,
Yeah.
you could easily get a report.
Hmm.
How much time does it take for a consultant to actually give this result?
See, normally what I am seeing is they are taking anywhere between 30 to 45 days. It can be because of their laziness also. I'm not saying, but this one, because of their its internal calculation, and also updated versions of every time, where what are the new things which you can put in.
Correct.
And trying to break into today, basically it's like this, Panacha. Today I go to buy, let's say, a fridge. I buy a 5 star fridge than a 3 star, right? I know it's the same brand. Correct. So basically, just like you said, you probably, between your previous company, you had two brands. One was which was affordable, one was a premium one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, both are constructed by the same people, right? But at the end of the day, why are you going for a higher one? Because you feel, okay, this is a better one. It's a 5 star value.
Well, that's a different debate.
No, I'm trying to give. I understand the logic. So today, when I'm giving a green building, I can charge better rents.
Correct.
I can charge better.
So who is your customer? Not the end user. It is the builder.
Builder, yes.
So the builder is your customer.
Yes.
So he has access to architect. He can say, if I don't get the report in 5 days, I'm not going to pay you. So the 35 days will come down to 5 days.
Correct.
He has his own mechanism to do
Correct.
AI will not work in that unless it is solving a very big problem for him. For him, pilferage may be a problem. People stealing, one bag of cement or 1 meter is being stolen. That may be a bigger problem than getting the certification, because he requires certification at a particular time.
No, I'll give you. For example, why are people asking for ESG reports today?
Two reasons. One is, if you want good to be a reputed company, you should have a good ESG policy.
Correct. No.
Second, many funding, norms are there. Banks will not give you loan.
Correct. The companies can do their reports internally.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But why do you need a third-party certification for it?
So that he doesn't cheat.
What I'm trying to say is, I'm coming there only. The third, if there is a third party who is signing and saying that, I am giving the certification because I validate this.
Correct.
And it at a faster time.
Correct.
It becomes a service of a higher quality.
Understood. So what you can do is, rather than targeting the builder, target the consultant.
Correct. Exactly.
So if you create for a product, how much it takes you 30 days? What if you could do it in 3 hours?
Correct.
That kind of product might work, because there may be at least 1,000 consultants.
Yes.
One starts using, everybody will start using.
Yes.
And if it's good, make it a subscription.
Yeah. Something like that.
Tally and all is a subscription.
Correct. And keep it updated so that
And every time the norms change, you keep updating.
And see, once people started, see, that's what happens. So today what was premium 10, 15 years ago, today it's become normal, right? And once the top guys consultant starts using it, it starts trickling down, and the smaller ones to become wants to become best, he'll say, I will also give you the same.
But how much of R&D you will have to do? What will be the cost of making this?
No, it's ready. Yeah, it's not too much.
If it's ready, test it with 5 people.
And that's what I'm in talks to. We want to start looking at some this one.
So in this, if you identify whose problem is being solved the best way, that is your customer.
Correct.
So it is not the problem of the person staying there.
Yes, no, it is not
the problem of the
it
builder.
is not. It is not. Yeah.
He's saying, I'm paying 10 rupees, give me a certificate.
Correct.
Or
Correct.
The person who's doing the work is taking, he said, I need to have 3 draftsmen.
Yes.
I need to have 2 engineers. I need to have this, I need to have that. Instead, one person fills in the data, second person verifies it, seems to be okay.
Correct.
I think that's the market. But I don't know the size of the market. It's not a multi-million-dollar business.
We don't know. You see, today we don't know. See, when I was actually, because of I'm part of a renewable energy thing. ESG was hardly anything 10 years ago. It was only like the top one they were talking about. Today it's trickled in.
Up to 5 years ago, ESG and ECG were
same. Exactly. They were saying it's the same thing, just give it the report. But today they are started insisting. I'm saying that these things will start getting into each one of it. And for example, as you said, tomorrow HDFC will ask, there is no building report. Why this can't be proved? That's like how they are doing for so many things. Some 100 documents which are, I don't even know why they are taking.
No, see, when a bank is lending, it wants to be not sure, it wants to be extra sure.
Absolutely.
So if they blink also, something should not go wrong. So the person who sells you the loan, the person who collects the document, and the person who does the credit rating are 3 different people.
3 different people.
So they cannot collude and give you a wrong loan.
Correct.
Because I know way back in mid 2000s, I was working in a bank, and there was one person was fired because somebody in his team gave a credit report. Okay, saying that I have visited this property, 7th floor, lovely view of the sea. On an empty plot. The plot is empty, the valuation report has come, lovely property, good view of the sea. The report is given. Well, I was fired, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
That kind of thing. If you are able to provide any AI product to end users, like people who are actually doing stuff for their customers, they will invest.
Yes.
Like for example, she uses Canva. Canva Pro or whatever, paying a monthly subscription.
Correct.
I would not use.
Correct.
With the free version, whatever I design.
True.
But for people whom it is a profession, for them,
it is a must.
Like I do accounting in Excel.
Yes.
But my accountant has to use Tally or
Tally only, yeah, true.
But that's the tool for the professionals.
Correct.
So you have to create AI tools for professionals.
Yeah.
It could be time management tool for professionals. It could be, appointment management for a dentist.
Understood.
For example, AI, you enter, okay, person is coming for root canal or coming for X-ray, and you have entered X-ray normally takes 15 minutes or 10 minutes. The AI assistant will say, okay, let me send a reminder call, sir, your appointment was there, are you there, can you come 5 minutes early? So that this fellow's time is more efficient.
Understood, yeah.
And if it's an automated tool which costs 299 rupees a month, everybody will buy it.
Yeah.
So sky is the limit with AI.
Yeah. I don't know where it's going to go, but yeah.
So anyways, I think we'll wrap up.
Yes.
Wonderful meeting.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot of.
Thank you so much for coming.
No, thank you.